Hello and welcome to week 38 of the FrankenScrap Crochet Along. This week we're making two pieces, the wattle and the bean stitch. We're going to be starting off with a wattle, which is a cute little stitch with a very delicate texture, and it's flat, but it just looks very pretty. And for this stitch you're going to need a foundation chain of 45.
So we're going to start in the third chain from our hook, and the turning chain is going to count as our first stitch. So I've marked the first chain from my hook, which will count as the first stitch. So in the third chain I'm going to make a single crochet, chain one, and then into the same stitch I'm going to make a double crochet. So we've got the single crochet, chain one, double crochet in that third chain from my hook, and that first chain from my hook that I marked, that turning chain, counts as our first single crochet of the row. So the wattle stitch is a simple repeating pattern. So we're now going to skip the next two chains, and then in that third chain we're going to make a single crochet, chain one, and then into the same stitch double crochet. And that's the repeat. Skip two chains, in the next chain make a single crochet, chain one, and in the same chain make a double crochet. Skip the next two stitches, in the next one make a single crochet, chain one, and into the same chain make a double crochet. Skip the next two stitches, and you repeat that across your row. So once you have 3 stitches left, you skip the next two and then single crochet in the last stitch. Okay, so just a single crochet in that last stitch, and you get these little shell type patterns appearing. So that's row 1. So now we turn and we start row 2. So we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to skip the first 2 stitches. So we're going to skip the single crochet, we're going to skip the double crochet, and we're going to work in the chain 1 space into there. Okay. And into there we make the bottle stitch again. So single crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all into that same chain space. And then we skip ahead to the next chain space. Okay, so we skip the single crochet here, we skip the double crochet here, and we're working into that chain 1 space there. And into there we make a single crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all in that same space. Skip ahead to the next chain space. So it helps if you don't make your chain 1s too tight, if you leave them a little bit loose, and that will help you find your space as you go. So you repeat that all across the row, only working in the chain spaces and making that single crochet, chain 1, double crochet repeat all the way across. Single crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all in the same space. And then we're going to make a single crochet in the turning chain. And the rest of the wattle stitch is a repeat of row 2. So finishing off your row, I'm going to turn to show you where it is in there. Your last single crochet of the row is always going to be made in that turning chain. So even though in the row 3 onwards you're going to make it between the turning chain, which is that chain 1, and that single crochet, you just go into that chain space Just grab my hook in there. Okay, that's where you finish your row. Always between the turning chain and the single crochet. So just remember that, and otherwise the wattle stitch is just a repeat of row 2.
To complete your wattle piece, you're going to be repeating row 2 until you have 15 rows in total. Once you've done row 15, you can cut off and weave in your ends. And then it's time to move on to the bean stitch. So the bean stitch is a cute little stitch that is a series of puff stitches that slant to one side, and so each row interlocks together. And this stitch works up beautifully no matter what. So for this piece, you're going to make a foundation chain of 15.
So for the bean stitch, we're going to start in the 3rd chain from a hook. So insert your hook into the chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook into the chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, and one more time, yarn over, hook into the chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. You should have 6 loops on your hook. Now yarn over, pull through all 6 loops, then chain 1. You're going to skip the next stitch. The stitch after that, we repeat. So hook into your chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You'll have 6 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 6 loops, chain 1. You see your little puffs come through, and these are your individual beans. And we repeat this pattern all the way across. Skip the next stitch, hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, back into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, back into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 6 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 6 loops, then chain 1. And we repeat this all the way across. Each bean is to the height of a single crochet, so we're not pulling up very far, just enough to get that height and make that little puff. And in your final stitch of the row, you will make your last bean. You do not single crochet yet. You're going to turn and then chain 1. So in this row, you're going to make every bean into a bean. So if I just pull that, that is your bean there, that big loop. This here is your chain 1, and this is the side of the bean, and you're going to work into the side. So as before, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and we do that until we have 6 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through, chain 1. We ignore the chain 1, and we work into the side of the next bean, which is here. Insert your hook and pull up those loops until you have 6 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through, chain 1. You can see we've got the slants going on. So the previous row is slanted this way, and our beans in this row will be here. So we're creating a series of interlocking little bean puffs, and you continue that all through row 2. The rest of the beans in next rows will be a repeat of row 2, and you'll always be working into the side of the bean in the row below. This stitch works up wonderfully whether in a single colour or multiple colours, and can also look really good with multicoloured yarn as well. Your final stitch will be in the side of the last bean, and you'll see the stitches on the side there, so it's quite easy to find and make that final stitch. And then turn and chain 1, and then you just repeat row 2 for as long as you need.
To complete your bean piece, you're going to be repeating row 2 until you have 18 rows in total. Once you finish row 18, you can cut off and weave in your ends, and then it's time to join both of your pieces to the rest of your FrankenScrap. So to see where these two pieces fit and the full joining instructions, click the link beneath this video and it will take you to the blog post where you find all the information that you need. And don't forget, if you have any questions or just want to go and chat with your fellow FrankenScrappers, you can come and join our Facebook group. The link is in the video as well. So once you've joined, that's week 38 complete, and I shall see you next week for the next piece. Bye for now.